Thinking about moving to Austin, Texas? Well, in this video, we're going to touch on the pros and the cons about moving to Austin, Texas. And not only that, we're going to switch it up. We're going to do cons first, and we're going to end positively on the pros. So with that, we're getting into that video right now. This is your first time tuning in to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about moving to Austin, Texas and surrounding areas, then subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Austin, Texas. I'm Marcus Jordan with the Premises Place Group, brokered by eXp Realty, and we hear from people just like you looking for help for their move to Austin, Texas and surrounding areas. We love hearing from you, so whether you're looking for an apartment, buying a house, or investing, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even schedule a Zoom so that we can help you make a smooth move to Austin, Texas. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into con number one, and that is an increasing cost of living. No surprise there. You've heard that many times. However, what you may not know is that Rent Cafe stated that Austin, Texas is 10% higher than the state's average and 1% higher than the nation's average. So even though we know the cost of living is a little bit more in Austin than most cities in Texas, now we have exact numbers for you to be able to plan, can you absorb that or not? Con number two, Austin has sporadic cycles and phases of extreme weather. As we're filming this right now, it is 105. Thank you, Shade. I really appreciate that. Mother Nature looks out for you sometimes. So if you're the type of person that you want or you need persistent and consistent, predictable weather cycles, I suggest when you move here, just plan to go on vacation for a very long time, every 5 to 6, 7 years, and hope that you miss some of these extreme phases of weather. Con number three, that Austin vibe is changing. What once used to be unique is now turning chic. Right? What we're seeing is that what used to be unique is slowly converting and transitioning into being luxury hotels, condos, and luxury retail stores, right? As of this video's recording, there are 22 projects under construction and 35 developments for downtown Austin alone, according to the Downtown Austin Alliance website. Those are projects that aren't even completed yet. So we know that more change and more development is on its way. Now, one of the reasons why you're seeing that, as far as things becoming more luxury, is because it's been said that the city's permitting and development process can be so extensive and costly that developers and developments are having to increase their prices so that they can recover that cost. And who gets to see that cost? We do. So when you're looking at affordable housing, a lot of those projects are going to be based on the city's grants, state grants, additional money that's coming in to subsidize those units. Whereas if a developer is coming straight in to build a mixed-use development or an apartment complex, they're having to shoulder that cost. And during the process and the development period, they're going through all types of financing, right? It's anywhere from fixed cost to variable cost. And as we've seen the interest rates increase, that also impacts their variable costs. So they have to make up for it somewhere. And that's why everything is starting to be termed or set for luxury, because with a luxury designation, they're able to charge a little bit more. So that's why you're starting to see that happening, or you have seen that happening. And with the number of projects that are still underway, we may see that trend continue for a bit longer. Now, going into con number four, though we started off strong in 2017, Austin's a little bit behind on the affordable housing options. Austin's NPR station KUT wrote an article in July 2023. I'm going to read that what it said here, and it mentions in 2022 there were 22,400 affordable apartments in various stages of construction. In the last 8 years, the supply of subsidized affordable housing has increased by 155% across Austin as a whole. City officials said they are working to get these projects back on track, but it could be several more years before those apartments become available. Let's revisit that. Several more years before they become available. Now, since 2017, we all have gone through the pandemic. Things have changed, people have moved. So there were a couple of variables that impacted that. So since it may be several more years, do we think home prices or rent prices are going to be lower or higher by then? How will we define affordability at that time? I share this with you not to scare you, but to prepare you. If you're looking to move to Austin in the near future, I just want to make sure that you know the stats and have the information so you can prepare and readjust your budget if needed. If not, if you're coming from another city that's a little bit higher priced than Austin, then you're golden. So we gave a few cons, we touched on a few items that you should totally consider if you're looking to move to Austin or any of the surrounding areas. And so with that, let's jump into our pros. Pro number one, Austin has a thriving job market. According to the Austin's Chamber of Commerce August 2023 Economic Indicators Report, Austin was ranked number 5 out of the top 50 best performing non-farm jobs year over year in the US. In this same report, the percentage of job growth of the top 5 industries in the Austin MSA year over year include leisure and hospitality at 6.6%, professional and business services at 5% increases, education and health services and other services tied at 3.7%. So there's two different industries, but since they had the same percentage, we roll them into one for this one, right? The next one is manufacturing with a 3.4 non-farm job increase, right? 3.4%. And then lastly, we have wholesale trade at number 5 at a 3.1% increase for non-farm jobs increase here in Austin MSA. And now that brings us to pro number 2. And we've actually touched on this just a little bit in one of the cons, and that's cost of living. Yeah, cost of living is still a pro here in Austin, Texas, right? Contrary to popular belief, Austin, Texas is still lower than some of the major cities in the US. According to an August 2023 article by CNBC, Austin is not even on the top 15 cities with the highest cost of living. So there's still opportunity for you to be able to maximize your lifestyle and what you're doing here in Austin and still not even be on the most expensive cost of living cities list, right? It's growing, but still not the highest. So we're considering that a pro. Now we go into pro number 3. And that is, even though it's not as prevalent as it once was, Austin is still known to have a pretty good, solid number of live music events, festivals, and outdoor activities. Some of those festivals include, and I'm sure you've heard of them, but you have South by Southwest, ACL, which is also Austin City Limits. You have Blues on the Greens, and maybe some ones that you may not be as familiar with. You have Eeyore's birthday, and you also have Honk, Texas. That's not how you say it. It just has an exclamation mark, and I don't know, just something took over. But even outside of that, let's just say you're focused more on health, fitness, and your activities. I mean, you still have activities from paddleboarding, hiking trails, running trails. Yes, those are 2 different trails, as well as nearby parks. So if you wanted to go out and be around greenery, if you wanted to go somewhere, go to a particular area where you can just get a jog in before work, Austin is still very, very much known for having those options available to you. Now, for this one, we're going to pro number 4. And pro number 4, we're going to pause a little bit because I feel it's really important. But pro number 4 in Austin, Texas, and probably throughout Texas, is Southern hospitality and manners, okay? Just because we come up to you and we say hello, we say hi, we're like, hey, howdy. Hey, how you doing? Hey, good morning. It's okay. We're just saying hello. We're not going to invite ourselves to dinner, I promise. So that's a big, big pro for me because as a military brat And being in the military myself, that is not something that you find everywhere. That's not something that every place does. So if you come down here and you're just walking and someone's like, hey man, or someone's like, howdy, hey, how are you doing? You doing good? All right, good to see you. It's perfectly normal. Southern hospitality and manners, they still exist. Just say hey back and enjoy it. Pro number 5, and that is more opportunities as well as improvements as the city continues to grow. Now, according to the Texas Standard, more than 139 companies moved to Texas since 2023, just 3 years ago. It's a little hard to pinpoint how many actually came to Austin specifically, but with the growth that you're seeing, it's a lot more than a single digit figure. So more companies, more opportunities, more abilities to do what you've dreamed of doing, or even more opportunities to create what you want to do here in Austin, Texas. And when I spoke about improvements, better improvements, more improvements, because of the number of people that have moved here, one of the things that the city has focused on a little bit more is public transportation. And yes, we still do have a little ways to go, but the amount of attention and effort that's put towards public transportation now, because of Austin's growth compared to what it was before, has grown by leaps and bounds. So even though this is not something that's been solved just yet, we now can see a pretty good line of sight to public transportation becoming more efficient, with more options, with more expansion throughout, I would say more density in more areas of the city, so that you won't always have to rely as much on your personal vehicle. If you just wanted to take the train, sit and do nothing instead of having to drive and sitting in traffic, and that person that won't get off your ass. Anyway, I'm not bitter. Affordable housing is still something that we're working on, but one miracle at a time, ladies and gentlemen. So that about wraps it up for this video. We touched on some pros, we touched on some cons, things to look forward to, things that are in the works to get better, right? Some things we might want to adjust for or take into consideration before we make a move, or if you're already here, before you move to a different area. I hope some of the stats we touched on was helpful. I hope that you're able to relook at how and why you wanted to move to Austin and use any of the information to help influence or give you more insight for that decision. If there's anything I did not cover in this video, please by all means leave a comment below. Let me know and see if we can do a future video on it later. If there's anything that maybe I've missed that you might want, or you may want me to expand a little bit more on, again, drop a comment. But before you go, wait for that pause. But before you go, again, don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Austin, Texas. My name is Marcus Jordan with the Premises Place Group, brokered by eXp Realty, and I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. If there's anything that I can do in the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out. Until the next time, stay awesome, stay amazing, and we will see you on the next one. We covered a lot of stuff in this video, but one thing I just want to leave with you, and it's something that I heard someone say to me years ago. Well, it was a group of us, but I was there. And they were talking about the only thing constant in life is change. What was said was this example, this story. You know, once upon a time, the sidewalks, the streets, everything that you see around you today, used to be dirt roads. Horses, wagons, carriages, saloons, sheriffs, all of that used to be the way it was. And so when those things started to change and pavement was laid down, we now have the world that we're living in today. Do you want to go back to where there was dirt roads and horses and carriages? The only thing consistent in life is change. And with that change is great opportunities for us to do great things. But it's all in your perspective. I hope that's helpful. That's what I think about whenever I see some of the changes that are happening in Austin. when I see things changing throughout the state that I've lived in and I've loved, it's an opportunity to do something greater. Well, what that may be right now, we don't know. But it's still an opportunity. It may not always be easy, but it's still an opportunity.